Your Thursday night just got a whole lot worse. It's USfanTV Live. We're going to talk about...
You know how we do.
That's right. We're going to talk about...
Bringing the whole level of everything down.
Just shifting it all down. We're going to talk about the Gold Cup in a minute, but I was just reading that you guys have probably heard that FIFA is going to be cracking down on basically racist and homophobic things. It may start as soon as the Confederations Cup. Well, apparently this could affect Mexico.
What country do we know who says a lot of homophobic things, Pat?
Many of them, but specifically Mexico. To be fair, a lot of them.
Particularly the home of... It all seems funny to me that the home of the Confederations Cup and the next World Cup and the next World Cup, not exactly friendly places for the homosexuals. So...
Yeah,
seems like, or really anyone. I mean, let's be honest. Russia's not a friendly place to like anyone who's not white and Russian.
So I'm guessing that Russia's not going to really give a shit if the Mexican fans, and how many are really traveling to Russia? I have to see this, but for the Confederations Cup, I could see for the World Cup, but for the Confederations Cup, how many of them are really going to even be there? And if they do the Puto chant, this is apparently how it's going to go down. Warning over the PA system, and then it's referee's discretion. The referee after that, if it happens again, and it will, can either stop the match or cancel the match and make them forfeit. And if that happens, we're going to do a special show on Saturday.
It'll just be me laughing at Mexico.
But yeah, Russia, a lot of places have some really terrible racist and homophobic pasts. Russia is among the worst. Douglas
Russia
just said
like
that
promotes.
Yeah, they exactly right. They do. And Douglas just pointed out Zenit games are horrible. They are. It's not like Russia's going to care, and really FIFA's not going to care. They don't want to shut down a match. It'll cost them money, and
yeah,
that's all they really care about. But so this is not going to happen. But if it does, oh my God, would that be hilarious? So yes, we're saying we're going to do a special show. I don't even know what time in the morning they play. Maybe 10.
It's like
Saturday?
10 a.m. I think.
Yeah.
I think.
So we could.
No, it's Sunday. It's Sunday, I think, isn't it?
Yeah. Because it starts Saturday, so Mexico plays Sunday. Yeah. So maybe we'll give that a whirl.
My girlfriend had asked me if I wanted to watch the game on Sunday, and I was like, I have no real particular reason. I mean, whatever. Like, he's not my favorite player by any means, but I will say Ronaldo, I do find entertaining to watch. But I don't care if Portugal wins, and I hate to see Mexico win. Sorry to our Mexican fans, but I hate every time you guys win. So I was like, yeah, no, but now I kind of want to.
I would be intrigued by a dirty elbow to the head on Ronaldo, though. This would intrigue me. I would like to see how this all shakes out. If
yeah,
I would imagine a red card is going to be handed out. If
I would imagine, yeah, he will get the protection that, I don't know, an American does not, or most of the other countries they play.
But yeah, so we're looking for that. But the thing that we're talking about tonight is the Gold Cup, because that's coming up, and we're hoping that other news happens between now and the Gold Cup, so that we don't do 11 Gold Cup preview shows before it actually starts. But it's actually closer than that, though, so we're all right. But Bruce this week said, even though Christian Pulisic was one of the few, if not the only Euro-based guy on the 40-man roster, he said, don't look for Pulisic to be in this thing. And then he said, we might not see Dempsey, we might not see Josie. He might just go with a complete B team roster, which I guess on one hand I'm okay with, because I like seeing new guys get a chance. It's kind of like a glorified camp cupcake. On the other hand, this is the same thing that we've gone back to. We've done numerous shows about the Gold Cup, and if we're going to treat it as a B tournament, something needs to change. A Confederations Championship should not be treated like a B or C level tournament, and you would never see this in UEFA, and you'd never see this in CONMEBOL. But we don't care. And I guess it's kind of, I get it. Like I get it. We do it every 2 years, so it's diluted a little bit, and it just doesn't have the same feel. So, I mean, we did this in 2013 and we won it. We had Donovan out there then, but so hopefully it works out. But I don't know. On one hand, it's cool to see the young guys play. On the other hand, it kind of takes away from the whole event even more in my eyes.
To me, and I actually had this debate with somebody on Twitter yesterday. It's a meaningless tournament because we play it every 2 years. You count the timing of it, and then you count the quality of the participants, and it doesn't mean anything. I mean, even if you count it as a play-in to the Confederations Cup, which I also consider kind of a meaningless tournament. I mean, it's nice to win just because it's different and because it exposes you to some other teams. And yeah, sure, it's sort of a warm-up to the World Cup, but it's not really like it doesn't do anything. You don't have, it doesn't necessarily go in, oh, we won the Confederations Cup. Okay, great. So like a team like us when we beat Spain in it, but otherwise, it doesn't mean much. But even as that, okay, so let's say that Confederations Cup means something. Even as a play-in to that, you still have 2 strikes. So what's the point? At least make it every 4 years, and then sure, it means something. If Confederations Cup should continue, and I don't think it will, it's at least not going to happen with Qatar, because there's no way UEFA is going to agree, UEFA much less anyone else, but especially UEFA is going to agree to a second winter tournament in the middle of their season in Qatar, and there's no way that anyone's going to agree to a summer tournament in Qatar. So Confederations Cup isn't going to happen, I think, in 2022, but will it happen after that? I don't know. I mean, really, it was just created as a way to test South Africa and then Brazil. Do you guys have your shit together? I mean, really, when you keep putting, I keep getting off on tangents, I guess, here, but when FIFA keeps putting World Cups in places that can't quite handle it or have just bought it, they have to test. Like, is everything going to be ready? Are people going to die at this event? And that's all.
Because we prefer them die at the Confederations Cup than the big event.
Yeah, exactly. Well, there are fewer countries, so really, that's all this was. It was a tournament, the Confederations Cup. I mean, it was just created as a way to test whether or not the World Cup would go off without a hitch, or what did they still have to fix, or would it be okay enough that you can get by? So it's still kind of a meaningless tournament, but at least, okay, it's cool. You play a lot of teams that you might not otherwise get to play. You can get a trophy, so there is something, I guess, to play for. But beyond that, what's the value of our own conference tournament? I mean, to see who's the best in our conference? We already know who's the best in our conference. And yes, I know Mexicans watching right now, you're going to say it's you. I'm not even going to say it's us. I'm just going to say that it's between 3 teams, and we know who the 3 teams are. Like, and realistically, it's between 2 teams, because who always wins the Gold Cup? Also, I think it's kind of crap that we only play it in our own country over and over and over.
Ricardo just mentioned this, and that's a good point. I mean, for convenience sake, I like that it's here, but that also takes away from the value of the tournament to me. It sucks that we host it. I mean, Canada could do it. Mexico could do it. Do one there every once in a while. I mean, I like being able to go so easily, but it feels like, I mean, Women's World Cup qualifying in CONCACAF is the same way. It's a tournament here every 4 years. That's ridiculous. It should be spread around. And I know that you can't count on El Salvador to
not everybody has the infrastructure.
But some of the countries can, for sure.
Yeah.
So at least move it around a little bit.
Yeah, it just seems to me that it's such a kind of Bush League tournament. And so to really put a lot of value in it, I mean, well, one of the things I said the other day when I was arguing on Twitter, somebody said, I said, what's the point of beating up on teams like Haiti? And their comment was something like, what's the point of beating up on Slovenia? Now, I left out, Slovenia's made a World Cup. Haiti ain't never going to make a World Cup.
Well,
but
they keep expanding.
Well, yeah, that's
the
true.
96 team World Cup they might make.
But what I said was, Europe has something like 25 teams or something in the top 50. We have 3 by FIFA rankings. Or maybe I said top 25. They have like 20 teams or 16 teams or whatever. I can't remember exactly what my argument was, but I said we have like I know I think it's 30. They have I think it was they have 30 teams in the top 50. We have 3. And this guy was like, well, that's where soccer was started. So realistically, there's value then. Like UEFA becomes more important to outside viewers because there are more teams that mean something. And the other part of like why somebody was I saw in the comments somebody's making fun of because I keep calling CONCACAF CONCACRAP. I do it, and I don't actually do it as a joke. I do it because in the end, our conference is shit.
I think it's less a knock on the teams and more a knock on the governance and officiating and the whole. I mean, we're talking about Chuck Blazer and Jack Warner and some of the most despicable human beings on earth. And I hope you're watching Jack Warner. I know you watch all the time, like you watch John Oliver.
Pretty much FIFA became what it could become. Like, Sepp Blatter's destructive ways all came because CONCACAF, we showed him how to do it. Like Chuck Blazer was like, hey, you know what? And by the way, where did the Gold Cup come from? To bring this back full circle, where did the Gold Cup come from? Mr. Chuck Blazer. So I don't know. I just can't put a lot of stock in this tournament. And to me, if you want to, you make it every 4 years. You want to still have a tournament in between, and I'm cool with us having a tournament in between. Then we make, like we've talked about, some kind of super Copa America where we play North and South America, Caribbean and Latin America. I'm just counting you guys in there as kind of like the geographical continents description. North and South America versus each other. And you see who's the champion. And who cares if Brazil or Argentina wins it every time? Or Chile, as apparently it is now. Who cares? Like, that is something people want to watch. But we don't have the number of countries in our conferences, and we don't have the quality that people want to watch from the outside. Or most people want to watch from the inside. I can watch UEFA Cup because it's cool. You're still seeing a lot of good teams. I mean, Wales produces some of the greatest players ever. Even I have to admit, Ryan Giggs is one of the best left midfielders I've ever seen. I mean, possibly ever of all time. But Ian Rush, these guys are awesome. Bale and Ramsey, amazing. But Wales sucks. It's cool to see them playing something. I don't know. I'm totally off topic now.
Don't fucking start on Wales again. Those people will go nuts on us again. Wales, we love you.
I'm just trying to get us to 3,000 viewers.
Chris and I were there once for like 8 hours for an Arsenal match.
I've been there more than that.
Have you? We drank your brains beer, whatever it was called. It was fine. It's tasty. Talked to a guy I couldn't understand all those words. I don't get it, but it was beautiful. But yeah, I was thinking, so I'm going through in my head, if we can't do the combined Copa America, or whatever we want to call it, let's say that's not a possibility. And we do still want to do the Gold Cup every other year. Well, I was thinking maybe we make one the Gold Cup and make one something else, and it would be more for up-and-coming talent. But there's no way in hell they would do that, because if you do that, how many tickets are you really going to sell? So they're going to call everything the Gold Cup, even though the teams like some of us, like Mexico and who has good reason to, because they've got too much stuff going on this summer, and the U.S., which, you know, we could have brought everybody out if we wanted to. I guess some of the Euro clubs would be mad that their players aren't showing up for the beginning of preseason, but we have no problem pulling people out of an MLS season for this. So we could have brought everybody. It's become now a tournament that you play your B-level players in, and we can't call it that because we still want to sell tickets and everything, but it is.
It's now the Silver Cup.
Yeah.
Or the Bronze Cup.
There you go. But I mean, from a ticket standpoint, I think my tickets to the Denver match and to Columbus were both like $100 a piece, $100 each, right around there, with all the Ticketmaster fees tacked onto that. The tickets we bought from the American Outlaws for the Nashville match in a few weeks were $44 with no fees. So obviously,
hey, 12 years ago, US-Mexico World Cup
$20
qualifier in Columbus was $20.
It was $20 to go to the 2005 Dos Acero, unbelievably. So, but yeah, obviously they're from a ticket standpoint, they don't think it's important.
To me, the real problem is that because there's still another chance at it, why do you need to try now? And okay, so we win now. Do we need to try in 2 years? Or, if we have something coming up, then do we go, well, I mean, in 2 years, what it should be Olympics play-in, qualifying.
Yeah.
Right. So will anyone care then? It certainly won't be young guys probably then. Does that mean that we bring full teams? But whatever. Oh, sorry, Hunter. Yeah, I was trying to figure out. By the time I saw your comment, I wasn't sure who you were talking about when you're like, I'm only 16. I don't know who these guys are.
Okay, if you don't know who Chuck Blazer is,
He's this big fat guy who looks like Santa Claus.
Yeah,
and he is a crook.
As Men in Blazers have pointed out, he literally had an apartment for his cats
in Trump Tower in New York.
Yeah,
in Manhattan.
There's a I think it was 60-minute sports piece on Showtime. If you could find this, it's amazing. It breaks down this guy when the FBI started having him wear the wire. He was responsible for a lot of the FIFA arrests because he flipped and wore a wire for the FBI on his giant body. But before that, they go into detail that he brought in some old girlfriend who hadn't seen him in 20 years, and he had ballooned to 450, 500 pounds or some shit like that. And the girlfriend was like, this is weird, but she wanted to hang around because he had ungodly amounts of money he was throwing at everything. And she's just like, this is strange, and I have to give him sponge baths, but I like money. So if you could find that story, it's amazing. But yes, Chuck Blazer is one of the assholes who gave us modern-day CONCACAF, along with Jack Warner from Trinidad and Tobago, who is another crook on a whole other level that apparently stole was it hurricane or earthquake? I can't remember. Relief fund money. Earthquake relief fund money for Haitians. Jack Warner stole that apparently. So we're talking about some top level corruption here.
Yeah, Chuck Blazer was like a genius, or is like a genius of I don't know, of crime, of theft, and he realized that Jack Warner had the connections. So basically, he helped work to get Jack Warner into power, and then taught Jack Warner how to steal too. And then the two of them just robbed CONCACAF blind. And then they went, you know what, Sep? There's something we could do here to make a little money for ourselves. Get a little kickback here. And they taught him how to do it. And that's why FIFA is the way it is. And that's why what they found they could do was empower small countries. Why does the Gold Cup keep happening? Why is it every 2 years? Because it gives small countries in CONCACAF more chances to play games, which is valuable to them. Because where else do you get a chance to play someone of the caliber of Mexico or the United States or Costa Rica or Panama? Countries that truly do make the World Cup. Where do you get a chance to ever play that? Because your players don't get the kind of attention or exposure to go get to play in like England or somewhere in Europe or whatever, where they get on TV and they make a ton of money. So where do you do it? Well, you get it by playing these games. So they want more games against that. That's why they want to expand qualification. Anyway, they taught this to FIFA, and that's how Sepp Blatter kept getting elected. Was they gave more votes to all these little countries, and suddenly, Andorra or something has the same number of votes as like the United States.
Right.
Well,
Every
Andorra is never good.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Andorra is never going to make a World Cup. Do they even have a national team? I don't know. But they can vote just as heavily and just as firmly as any country that has won a World Cup, any country that might win a World Cup, any team in the top 100 in the world, because they're not.
Yeah, Montserrat's vote counts the same as Brazil's, which is why the whole system is corrupt. And to show that it still is, Gianni Infantino said that he was going to clean everything up and blah blah blah. But they, in the last meetings or something like that, they all got like these $50,000 watches. Well, only 3 of the Confederation presidents returned them. Sunil, the woman from Australia whose name escapes me, and Prince Ali, who was like Sunil's buddy, who was considered
Prince Ali, mighty is he,
considered to be fairly clean. But yeah, they have a no kickbacks rule in their accountability rules that they put into place.
No kickback.
And violated it the first chance they got. So yes, this has turned into a
Chuck
FIFA
Blazer
corruption rant.
Chuck Blazer became somehow involved with like an NASL team back in the 80s and created a tournament like amongst teams in the Northeast and found that it made him money. I mean, he was a guy who like kind of understood how to scheme on things and found that, wait, if I do this, this makes some money, and then I can claim some money as either the guy who created it or the guy who found the deal or whatever. And so he just did that, and then he got more connections. And back then, because U.S. soccer was sort of the Wild West, he got into U.S. soccer deals, and that's how basically the Gold Cup was created, because somebody said, you know what, we need a way for all these college kids who play for us to play in a tournament. And Chuck Blazer was like, I know how to do that. And so he created the tournament, and then like that's it. I mean, there was technically a CONCACAF tournament decades back. There have been different tournaments, but the Gold Cup was created by Chuck Blazer as a way, in theory, to get games for our amateur players to kind of like, small countries now, when Haiti now wants to use the Gold Cup as a way to get more experience against teams and get noticed and maybe get deals or whatever and make some money. But yeah, he found a way. Yeah, as somebody said, he was Mr. 10%. He cut 10% off of whatever and pocketed it. And made tons.
So back to the Gold Cup. The soccer.
Yeah. Now that we're like 20 minutes off what the hell we're talking about.
To answer the question that I put in the YouTube title, I would much rather Pulisic go impress his new coach and make sure that he plays with the first team a ton and starts a ton this year and be with his club team than play for the U.S. in this tournament. And that's kind of sad to me, because it's a tournament with a trophy at the end of it that I should really want us to win. Why do I care more about especially the European-based guys? I don't care so much about Deuce and Josie. If they need to leave, their MLS teams, if Dax needs to leave Chicago to play, and he will, obviously, cool. But I do care more about Pulisic specifically and some of the other Euro-based guys making a name for themselves and being there with their clubs. And that's I wish I didn't. I wish that the Gold Cup was a big enough deal that I would be like, no, you can wait. We need to win this Gold Cup.
Well, and that's why I think if it was every 4 years, where everyone, where you didn't have to run into things like, well, we got the Confederations Cup, or we got
scheduling it up against
whatever
several things.
Yeah, put it so that it stands on its own, and if it only happens once every 4 years, then it is kind of like the World Cup, where it has something special. It stands out. Every 2 years, so what? We got another chance at it. And we get another chance at it with this group, basically. So, whatever, we'll try it again later. And so you run into the problems of, well, okay, Mexico's not bringing a full team, so we probably don't need to. Why isn't Pulisic playing? Because we don't really need him. And in the end, it is better for him to go get his time with a new coach because, yeah, right now you don't want to see him stop developing. You want to see him get a starting position. And who the hell knows what's happening with Dortmund's lineup, over the summer? Aubameyang's probably out the door. Does that mean that other guys are going to be out the door? Dembele may go to Real Madrid. So
it's a great sentence from John. John says, this year alone, he survived a terrorist attack, played in the UCL, and lives on his own in a different country. Fair. Yeah. I mean,
and he's 18.
Yeah, that's he said that. We need to remember he's 18. Yeah. That's, that's he probably does need a break. And I wasn't expecting him to play in the group stage at all. If anything, I was thinking maybe Bruce would bring him in because you could make 6 changes, I think, for the knockout rounds. And that's not that big of a deal, but I'd still rather him be with Dortmund at this point. So, and I think that we can, our MLS team doesn't live with it.
He doesn't live. Mike, was a terrorist attack. It was like a Russian dude who was trying to, because Dortmund is the only publicly traded team in Germany. He was trying to make their stock go down. It was literally just a stock bet. Yeah. He was like selling short on them and wanted to see their stock go down and bet against them. So he tried to blow up their bus.
Yeah, which some people may not call a terrorist attack. I still think it qualifies as a terrorist attack. It doesn't matter that it wasn't because of jihad or whatever. This guy was trying to kill people.
Yeah.
For his own
Hunter,
cause,
he doesn't live with his dad anymore. His dad moved back. I think he's coaching the Rochester Rhinos now in USL.
He lives with his cousin though. Still, he lives with Will.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, his cousin who is he a keeper? He's like in the program too. He there's a chance we could see him in the not too distant future.
Maybe.
I don't know if I agree. While we're on the topic of Dortmund here, Mike, I don't know if I agree that Aubameyang isn't going anywhere. Yeah, he's expensive, but there are teams that can afford him.
We do this every year.
If it wasn't for why am I not drawing a blank on the French striker who Arsenal wants to buy,
Karim
but
Benzema.
Never will. No,
Mbappe.
Kylian
Mbappe.
If not for like Mbappe's last season, where he's just become like the talk of the world, Aubameyang's still probably the most sought after striker. Even if you want to count total strikers in the world, he's in the top 5 probably of whom everyone wants. So I have trouble believing that Dortmund can keep him at this point. There's the saga every summer. It's got to happen one of these days. You're nearing the point where he's hitting his prime and really has kind of maybe one huge contract left in him. Now's the time to strike and take that. I doubt it's going to be Barcelona, but Real Madrid money.
If he does go,
PSG,
I would love to see Bobby Wood go to Dortmund. If he does not go, if Aubameyang stays, I do not want Bobby Wood to go to Dortmund. So only if there's that opening and we think that Bobby Wood has a legit chance to start for that team, which still seems like a stretch to me. Because, I like Bobby Wood a lot, but Aubameyang to Bobby Wood is a pretty big drop-off in my view. So, and maybe it wouldn't be. Maybe at Dortmund he could turn into that level of player. Who knows? But I just don't know that I see it. I would think they'd go out and get a pretty. They just always bring players up, but
yeah, if it wasn't, we'd have no question as to who our starting striker should be across the board. No question.
That's a good point.
Should Josie be here or should Bobby be here? Like everybody wants to see Bobby Wood, but we got Josie. It's like, well, okay. We'd have no question. They'd be like, of course he's starting. It'd be kind of like Pulisic at this point. Of course he's starting.
Yeah, I
agree. Wood probably should stay at Hamburg.
Do we think we have the level of MLS talent to win this tournament? I think we do.
This tournament, yes.
Yeah, and here's why. Bruce is going to have a plan for them that they can understand from day one and know what's going on. It's not going to be I'm going to try to disrupt you. We're in the quarterfinals and I'm going to throw a wrench in things, because making people uncomfortable is what got me to be the best Tottenham Hotspur striker I could be, and not just a pretzel maker like Klinsmann. So that's the thing. Bruce brings a level of comfort. He brings a level of understanding, clarity. Last time around with Klinsmann, none of that was there. It was deliberate discomfort and no clarity for the players. And so, yes, with the MLS guys understanding what's going on and being on the same page as Bruce from day one of camp, I think we have a good chance to win it. Maybe we won't, but I think we were the...
Well, and it's not like... I mean, he actually has a decent team for the circumstances. Yeah, sure, our top guys aren't there, but to me, while, and Bruce has said so, it would be a perfect year to win the Gold Cup and qualify for the World Cup. Winning this is nice, but ultimately, our goal is next summer. So really what we're doing now is just kind of filling out those last, 5 to 8 spots that, Bruce hasn't already decided on. And that's where this is important. And that's where, to me, you need that outsider attempt. You need those young players, because you want to see what do guys have to offer. I've seen a few people bring up Josh Sargent. Now, he did cool off towards the end of the U20 World Cup, but I was definitely on board there, because to me, what else did he have going this summer? And what the hell? Let's see what the kid can do. I mean, I'm still not opposed to it. I don't think it's as likely as I wanted it to be 3 weeks ago. But to me, yeah, it would be cool if somehow he got a call up, because what's he doing in the meantime? Who cares if he goes back to an amateur team? Keep giving him things to do, and he can go to the 17s World Cup in 2 months or whatever it is now. 3 months? Is it September? I don't remember exactly when it is.
You guys, breaking news into the USfanTV newsroom. I am on Footy Headlines right now.
Oh, is it out?
It appears to be out.
Can we get a picture of it up here?
All right, hang on. It's going to be blue. It'll be navy blue, just like the leaked pre-match top. Several sources have indicated it will also feature red, possibly in a hooped design. The Gold Cup kit will be released in about 2 weeks, with the official launch expected for July 1st. They give I don't know if you could see it. I've seen this one floating around. That's the design that people seem to think it's going to look like.
We're kind of Barcelona. Barcelona on our side. On their side.
But it will be there's the base color that they're saying. I should be able to pull this up on the computer, but like that.
I'm looking at it on mine. I think I would own this.
I got to see it.
I do want to see it.
It'll be used only at the tournament, which means if you wanted to buy a Christian Pulisic version of this jersey, he probably will never wear this jersey. So there's another reason that bootleg Barcelona. It's what it kind of looks like.
I don't like. I mean, maybe the gold numbers and logo on it are just because of the Gold Cup, but I don't like these like off-color numbers and logo. I didn't like the all red logo on the all red uniform. I'm not a fan of these like special numbers that we keep releasing. I did buy one of the US flag ones, whatever it was, a year or two ago, because to me, at least, that was representative of the U.S., but I didn't like it when we did it with the military numbers back in November. I wasn't really, although I will say the rainbow numbers, actually, I kind of liked the look of them against the red uniforms. I really don't like when we keep doing these sort of like knockoff things or one-off things, because to me, it's just an attempt to make money. And I don't like when we have just, whatever. I'd rather we just did white numbers or blue numbers or whatever the standard is. I don't know that I like the gold.
We'll have to see. But yeah, it seems to indicate this the knockoff Barcelona one that I showed you is a mock-up by somebody who had some knowledge of it, I guess. It's saying it's still unconfirmed though, but it's gonna be out in 2 weeks, which you had to figure at some point, right? Because they're trying to sell
it would be nice. I mean, I do like to get my jerseys personalized, and I'm not going to have a ton of time to get it ordered and have it if I want to wear it at the Gold Cup. So they need to speed things along here a little bit.
Yeah, I don't know. Do you get this one personalized?
It might depend. I don't know.
With a B team like guy, or I mean, maybe I don't know. It depends on who. If we know the
like, I never got my Waldo personalized. Although I do have one of the like fully authentic Waldos that I've just considered. I do have one of those. I had it with me when I met Giazzi. I got him to sign it. I didn't think to also have Omar signed it like 2 minutes later. But I've never decided who I want to have, like whose name and number I want to have on it. But my problem with it always was I never liked the white blocks on it to make room for the number. So I always kept my basic jersey clean, but that's like one of the few I have that I think is totally clean.
I mean,
I don't know. I'll have to see what this looks like.
If it's going to be hoops with this one, it's going to have to depend on whether they leave
to make the numbers
blank
stand
box.
Out, which may be why they go gold.
Yeah, it depends on how they make the numbers.
Well done, Brian. US Salona. I like that.
I mean, so we'll see if that's it. That'd be interesting, I guess. If it's only going to be worn in that Gold Cup, I don't know. I might wait till after the Gold Cup to buy it to see how we do. I don't know that I want to commemorate a tournament that we bomb out of, perhaps. So, but and will they be on sale immediately after the tournament, like
probably
at 50% off, or are they going to go out with a limited supply, or I don't know what. I mean, I guess we'll see how it looks, but it'd be cool to get it in a Christian Pulisic version, and I don't know that you do that if he doesn't ever wear it. So
no, TJ, I won't get asshole on it. I'll get Saremba and then a brown 0 on the back.
Somebody mentioned the rainbow numbers a minute ago. I thought they were for a good cause. I like the cause therefore, but they were especially ugly on the red jerseys.
See, I actually thought they looked okay on the red jersey.
Really?
I kind of liked the look on there. I wonder what they would have looked like on like the white jersey.
But they did this with these military numbers too in Columbus. It's just
I refused to get one of those too. Like had like Pulisic had a hat trick that night, and we'd beaten Mexico, I would have felt a little bit different that night because that was a special event. But to me, I understand that they're giving money away, but that's sort of like, to me, it's just sort of buying goodwill. Like I see it as Nike going, hey, look, here's something that we can look cool on. We can look like we care, and we can make some money. And it's distasteful to me. It's like using those things to me. It's using the military. It's using Pride Month. I don't like that.
TJ claims he knows more about jerseys than both of us. It is probably true. He does own more jerseys than probably everyone watching right now.
Possibly all of you together. Like I own a lot. I own enough that I forget jerseys I have sometimes and realize later, I'm like, oh shit, I forgot I even own this.
You've never been ordered to clear closet space.
I have never, I've never, now I did have to find a new place in my house for a while. My ex-wife did make me move all the jerseys to like my son's bedroom.
Now she's your ex-wife.
She is my ex-wife. Yeah, like TJ's like basement, closets, hallways. Like, it's like he'll go downstairs and like his entire house, like his entire basement, just like jersey, just like walls of jerseys all over.
What's this, TJ? Oh, it's an 8th Division German side I support. It's a pub team from Bratislava that I really love. How did you even get the jersey? I
played them on FIFA. They started watching their games
called
online.
The players, and they gave me one.
Turns out by DNA, I'm related to the coach, and
worked that connection really good. All right. I think we're done. This is USfanTV. Shows Tuesday night, Thursday night. The website's USfanTV.com. Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, all USfanTV. We hate Snapchat. We like YouTube.
Fuck Snapchat.
We are on YouTube. You know that.
Yay,
Subscribe
YouTube.
if you haven't. We now have more than 400 of you people subscribing to our.
You got to actually bring your numbers in there.
Like that.
There you go.
Subscribing to our show, which is absolutely insane, but thank you. And we're not on Craigslist. Thanks for sharing and retweeting and telling your friends and all that stuff. It helps a lot. Thank you for that. Chris, do you have any final words?
No, I am enjoying people talking about all the things I hate. Oh, yeah. We are not on Craigslist, unfortunately.
No, we are. We're just not on as USfanTV. We have different names.
That's true.
Special names. All right. Final words.
We love Hope Solo.
We do.
Fuck Wando, go Hope.
We love Hope Solo, but not as much as Chris does. Thanks for watching. You guys rock. You're done.
You're done.